Yes, my name is Corey. I'm from South Carolina,
We
and
get your age too.
I'm 35.
You're still a little quiet, by the way. Any way you could turn yourself up at all?
Let's see here. That's about as loud as I can get. Can
Got
you
it.
hear me better?
Yeah, we can hear you better.
Awesome, awesome. So, a couple things. I was just concerned about the Trump presidency and how we can compromise on the promises that he has not kept. For instance, saying that the mass deportations will be happening and really only going after um, additional criminals that have committed felonies in the country and not going after, you know, agriculture workers and of the like and hotel workers and things like this. He promised a lot of mass deportations, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but ICE actually hasn't even posted any deportation numbers in quite some time. Um,
So
and it's just,
I'm
uh
not,
huh.
you're right. I obviously would like to see that data, but it was the same argument they made with the economic numbers. They hadn't published it for a while, and then the numbers came out and they were good. Look, in general, yeah, you're right. I would love personally to see far more mass deportations. In fact, I'd like to see every illegal go. The truth is, though, Trump is experiencing roadblocks not just at every opposition level, but even in his own party. And so
I get
every
that.
little thing he tries to fire some low level worker, and there's some district judge somewhere that's gonna like impede that. And so it's difficult for him to be able to do this. What's happening though is I think that you're seeing the public narrative right now go in a place that I'm shocked that it's going. Like I think that you are seeing more and more people that are like, yeah, we want these mass deportations. And so right now we're in the phase where the opposition sort of rioting, engaged in the language of the left, insurrections against
Mm-hmm.
ICE, attacking them. Remember, they shot at ICE and took out two detainees that were being detained in Dallas there. So, yeah, more could be done, but it's certainly much better than it would have been the opposite way. The border would be flooded, and we
Sure.
wouldn't see anywhere near the actions we're seeing.
Yeah, I can give him his flowers, on, shutting down the border and all that. That's wonderful. But I honestly haven't seen much about the wall being built either. You can sign executive orders all day long, but the next president comes in and just
Well,
reverses them.
well, how do you propose he would do that?
Well, allocate funds for a border
Who
wall.
allocate funds?
Right. I know that the Congress or whoever's in
Right.
charge of
So
the
the thing
budget.
is that what you're actually proposing is that Trump go and ask Congress for funds for a wall, which he did. And what did they tell him?
Yeah, I get that, but at what point can we continue to compromise and get basically bent over and over and over again until we realize
Well, I
that
don't see
nothing's actually
this.
gonna.
This is the thing, and maybe Rob can expand on this, but I don't see this as a compromise. So,
Hmm.
what's the compromise? Trump can't give us a wall. Congress won't authorize the funds. He secured the
Right.
border. He's doing, from my perspective, he's doing everything within the executive limitations that he can possibly do to bypass Congress on most of these issues, if he can.
Mhm.
But for the most part, he's going to be hamstrung by what he is allowed to do constitutionally, right, via executive power.
I'm just waiting, I guess, for it to get so bad that we actually get someone to just ignore all this stuff and really take power and actually do something about it because it's frustrating because over and over it just gets worse and worse and it's
I
not
don't
just that.
listen. I don't disagree. You if you catch me in my normal stream, I'm all the time talking about like things need to happen faster. But if I step back and look, you have to be realistic as well. For example, I'm someone if I ran for president, my day one promise would be disbanding the FBI. But logically and practically, is that going to happen? Probably not. So when we look at not just the direction of the conversation, not just the securing of the border, and not just ICE laying the groundwork, and at least publicly going into these areas. In addition to that, we can see almost every job that's been created under Trump has been in the private sector and to American born citizens. And so the problems we saw with mass migration, sort of the cultural problems, Trump's out there yesterday showing about how many countries, immigrants, how much public welfare they're on. These are things that Trump is incrementally trying to tackle. It's difficult when the judiciary and the legislative branch is either against you or they're just not working. So, yeah, it's no reason to get blackpilled, though. The fact that Trump's doing positive things in the right direction, and he's not perfect, of course, and we see how much people are like, no, go further. That's a good thing. That's the Overton window switching. And then hopefully, as we go further, we can get more people in Congress and more presidents that'll take it to the next step necessary.
Yes, I mean I see the Overton window switching over, but how long until that switches back? I don't think that a lot of people in this country, if we actually did mass deportations, would go along with it. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You have to really take control and ignore some of these ridiculous judges and things like this to actually get things done because
In
it just becomes red taped.
you know much about war history?
I do pay attention to history, yes.
Yeah, like World War One.
Hmm.
Pretty familiar with that war?
Yes.
How much ground on average in trench warfare did one or the other side take in a day?
Not much at all.
How much is not much?
Well, probably not even a mile in some situations,
Feet,
It's pretty bogged down.
feet,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Sometimes feet of ground, right?
Yeah, the worst war in history.
And then
in
they
my
would get
opinion.
pushed back 3 feet, move forward, 10 feet, get pushed back. Sometimes maybe
Mhm.
they would push forward a quarter mile and then get pushed back a half a mile and then get pushed forward a mile, right?
Yep.
The Overton window is that way. So the thing is like, is the Overton window going to start sliding back the other direction? Yeah, it is. But the question is like, if you take 3 feet and they push back and they get one, and then we take 3 more feet, they push back and get 1 foot, and et cetera, and keep this up, then it does end up going in our favor, right? It's like this is just a political slog. It's a very slow burning political war. It's
Sure.
not quick.
Yeah, sure. I totally get that. That was one point I wanted to bring up. Another issue that I do have with the Trump administration is the promise to drain the swamp and then subsequently endorsing people like Lindsey Graham, who is the swampiest swamp creature to ever live, I think. I don't understand why he continues to endorse people like this. And it's not just Lindsey Graham. I mean,
Because
it's a
Lindsey
lot of.
Graham has tons of political connections and can help him with funding, and that's what he needs. He needs money.
And
I
and look, let's be clear. Yes, again, right? I mean, he appointed John Bolton in the first term. Now his DOJ is indicting John Bolton. Yes, you're right, and I would like to see more on that. But if I'm going to look at it from the other perspective, the truth is, right now, the coalition that allows Trump to do anything and to get elected does include some of those people that we would consider from the swamp. So you look at his first administration, it's like all these people in like all these agencies, FBI, DOJ, State Department, etc. Trump even said this on Rogan. He was shocked at how many people he had to appoint, like thousands upon thousands. So what happens is there's not people that are technically qualified for that job that are outside the scope of the swamp. So he points people that he trusts to fill out all those lower level positions. And a lot of those are going to be people that are, quote, in the swamp. The system is so corrupt at this point that
Mhm.
we're almost bereft of people outside the system that would even know how to get into it. Like, I'm sure Andrew would love to be press secretary, but he didn't get that call, right? How do you get to that position? So I think that Trump has to be pragmatic and realize, although someone like me might want him to be like, let's scorched earth, to heck with Mitt Romney, to heck with Lindsey Graham, he knows how the game's played. He knows that there's still a power base there. And even though it's his party and it's the MAGA party right now, he cannot accomplish what he wants if he totally goes scorched earth
Now,
on the Lindsey Graham so he plays nice.
I disconnected you, caller. It's nothing personal, but I want to move into the op callers.